Christy is a 2025 boxing biopic drama movie directed by David Michaud. I did not know that he did this movie, but I am a fan of his work. Animal Kingdom is a pretty good movie, but this is about Christy Salters when she was really young. She was still trying to figure out what to do with her life. She's good at basketball, but she gets kicked from the team, maybe, and her family suspects she's a closeted lesbian because of her good friend and, person that she hangs out a lot with, Rosie. And this is 80s, so it's not a very nice time for gay people. And however, Christy has a hobby of boxing because she's tough and she likes to do it. She makes money, and a couple of fights lets her get in touch with a promoter who wants to introduce her to James Martin. He is a boxing coach. Usually teaches men, but he doesn't respect women, and women's boxing isn't like a big thing now in the 80s. So at first she doesn't want to move out there and live in an RV and basically be away from her family and try this whole thing. But her mother says you should try this because you're good at it, and she ends up working really hard and ends up defeating all these people and ends up marrying James Martin because he sort of not blackmails her, but he basically gets her in a position where she's away from her family. She's like in an RV, the phone's cut off, she's kind of alone, and he's the only one that's giving her attention, and she wants a beard of sorts, so she ends up marrying him. However, his promises are a lot less than promising, because he says he knows people, but he doesn't actually. And she slowly starts to get really big, and it really affects how she sees herself. She's supposed to be like this amazing, awesome, women's boxing amazing lady, but she's really selfish and says, I want more money. I'm the best thing about boxing. Everyone else sucks. I'm not here to be a feminist or, help other women get into boxing or promote the sport in general. And then her husband also further goes into finding ways to separate her from her family and controlling, and then making her do weird fetish stuff. So this movie is actually a little bit different from what the trailer would let you perceive it to be. We need to talk about the elephant in the room. Sydney Sweeney did an American Eagle jeans ad that people think she's some sort of evil eugenics Nazi lady, and I don't agree with that. And in this movie, she plays a gay woman. So that kind of throws that narrative out the window. I mean, because Nazis didn't like Jews and gays and different races and things like that. So right there. But the trailer doesn't really show that at all. When the mother says it ain't natural, she's talking about her closet lesbianism, not boxing. And the movie does not showcase any of the icky sexual abuse stuff, like making her do weird fetish stuff, videos, and in-person things. It's really icky, and definitely I'm glad the movie didn't sugarcoat it, because this could have easily just been a generic sort of underdog female boxer movie like $1 Million Baby, but without any of the substance. But this is based off a real story, so they definitely don't leave out any of the icky parts. And also, Christy Martin, she's not like a perfect angel either. She's like pretty arrogant in the film, and she lets the fame get to her head a little bit, and she also doesn't see that she's in an abusive relationship either. So it ends. The second half of the movie is more of a domestic violence drama, and it's really harrowing, especially the character of Joyce Salters. Very minimal screen time as Christy's mother, but probably the worst character in cinema in years. Like literally so realistic, unsupportive, just terrible mother, the worst mother in movie 2025 cinema so far, because such a good performance. You want to hate this woman, but she doesn't do anything actively evil against Christy. She's just like the worst person to be your mom. And it's really interesting. Also, I noticed that the brother and the father don't really have much to do in the film. I thought they would be more of a support system, but it ends up coming from an old boxing rival of hers instead, in Rosie. So I definitely liked how they didn't hide any of that stuff, and definitely gets into a really brutal finale. And the movie's a little bit long in the pacing department, but that's the only flaw. Sydney Sweeney's really good. She doesn't really get a chance to emote too much. Like, it's mostly just a physical performance. She put on 30 pounds of muscle. To put that into perspective, Michael Jordan put on 10 pounds of muscle after the loss to the Pistons in The Last Dance, and he spent a year putting on 10 pounds of muscle to become more competitive. So, Sydney Sweeney did put in the physical work, and the acting's good. She doesn't overact in this movie. I've only seen her in Immaculate, which I didn't like, and the whistleblower movie Reality, which was just okay. It's like a TV movie. So this one, she's more of a physical performance. It's more of a some crying and some good, acting throughout. Nothing too over the top to sort of make her feel like she's trying too hard for an award. But because this movie definitely is very gritty, and it's a biopic, it's definitely Oscar bait material for sure. But I enjoyed the film. Ben Foster was really good too. Like, he just the nastiest man, but such a good performance from Ben Foster. He plays it so well as a villain. The way he just nonchalantly just takes her down a peg easily. He doesn't have to do like too much. He did gain weight for the role, and but overall good acting from everyone. It's a solid biopic. I didn't know anything about this woman, but definitely up there in terms of the movie's not as much as a boxing movie as it is a half boxing movie, half drama. So I give Christy a 7.5 out of 10.